Hi YouTube, it's me, Lucia. Welcome back to my channel. So today I just wanted to film a little update video, just like a little rundown about what's been going on in my life. And I know like I started this channel a couple months ago with the intentions of it being like a makeup channel, doing like kind of art content and stuff, and I obviously very quickly fell off with that. The living situation I was in was very toxic. My ex was, we were breaking up and living together still, and she just went haywire and became very abusive, and I had to get out of there. And luckily, my roommate and I got out of there. I started seeing somebody else, and honestly, it's one of those situations I feel like where, um, at the time, it was probably like the hardest thing I was going through. Like at the time, like I was struggling to pay bills, struggling to just make it day to day, and on top of that, then I was also dealing with a restraining order and my crazy ex, and yeah, it was just a lot. And then also all of the issues going on in the world. If you turned on the news, there was always something. So yeah, that all culminated in me having to really take a step back and ask myself some like really hard questions, and that's kind of what this video I think is about. So yeah, without further ado, let's break it down a little. So I want to start with um where why I decided to move. So as you can see, I'm in my car on break at my new job. And this is one of those things where I feel kind of embarrassing, but I really shouldn't, because at the end of the day, I have a job, I have a car, I have a place to live, I have food in my belly. Like, I'm grateful. But at the same time, I'm 30 years old. I feel like I should be better off than I am. We're a little further along, but I'll, I have a lot of reasons why I'm not where I feel I should be. One of them being I spent a large majority of my adult life in a cycle of drug dependency and substance abuse, and dealing with a lot of mental health issues. And yeah, I never really fully addressed anything. I just kind of powered through the best I could and just put it off longer and longer, and it catches up to you. So that's one of my first reasonings. But I'm on break right now at my job, and I had to get a part-time job in Maryland as a quality assurance representative or associate. I don't even know what the hell my title is, but basically I'm a janitor at a grocery store. And anybody who knows me knows that I've been tattooing on and off for the past 7 years professionally. And I wouldn't say I'm a terrible artist. I wouldn't say I'm the greatest artist either, but let's be real, I'm a tattooer. We draw on people for a living. Like, we are not God's gift to the earth. I think a lot of tattoo artists have this idea of themselves that like they're somehow special, and it's just kind of weird to me, because from my point of view, I was just a crackhead heroin addict that just so happened to be good at drawing, and also didn't have the care about hurting other people or like damaging their skin enough to like practice on them. So I just figured out how to tattoo out of just like sheer force of will. But that's just because I'm able to be honest with myself, and that's something I think I want to touch on a little bit in this video is where I'm at right now. I've just had to get really honest and humble about myself and with myself, and I think that that's what is allowing me to grow and progress right now, because I always get a very bad case of the woe is me's, and like, I'm just gonna be 100% real with you guys. Like, it is such a frustrating ordeal trying to get a part-time or a full-time job in today's day and age. I don't know what it is, but like, I've been applying for like 4 or 5 months. Nowhere is like calling me back. I do get some calls back, but they're like, hey, we're not hiring, right? We're not gonna go forward with your application, blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. I don't feel like I'm that unqualified. Like, I've literally got experience in barista. Like, I did that for like a total of like 4 or 5 years at Espresso Joe's, Asbury Park Roastery. I've worked in cafes. I worked like DPW, Public Works. Like, worked in the kitchen as a line cook, as like a prep cook, as like a dishwasher. I've run food. I've done like food delivery. I've worked at Domino's as a pizza maker. I worked at Pizza Hut as a delivery driver. Like, I've done construction. I've done carpentry. I've done like concrete. Like, I've poured concrete. Like, I've done some landscaping work. Like, I've literally done pretty much everything. Like, tattooing on top of that, and also like I have experience with like computers, like PowerPoint, Microsoft Office, all of that stuff, like some coding experience. Like, it's not like I'm incompetent. Like, I could go on and on about like my qualifications, quote unquote, but at the end of the day, my resume is, there's gaps in my employment because I was tattooing, and they don't really see tattooing as work experience, I guess. So I get it. I get why it's hard for me to get a job. Like, I have tattoos on my face. Like, I'm trans. Like, there's a lot of reasons that when I show up to an interview, they might not think I'm a good candidate, which, fair. But at the end of the day, I'm not letting it be a burden to me because, like I said, I'm able to be honest with myself, and I'm able to humble myself and realize that this is all temporary. Because also, I'm coming to realize, like, I'm also the happiest I've ever been. Like, I'm in a happy, committed relationship with somebody who takes care of me, like, lets me stay with them, and like, I don't really have to pay rent or anything. Like, I buy my own food, or we buy groceries together. Like, it's a good deal. Like, I pay my car bill, my insurance for my car, and like my phone bill, and like, that's really all I have to worry about right now. I chip in as much as I can, but like, she's very understanding, and like, to me, I think that that's just part of like the overall balance of the universe, and that's what I choose to believe. You don't have to believe in any spiritual weird mumbo jumbo like that, but to me, what helps me sleep at night is just accepting that there is this universal balance that I might not be privy to, but it works. And I just gotta trust that in the end, as long as I put my best foot forward, it's gonna work out. And yeah, I'm just like trying to stay positive through all of this because it's really easy for me to get like down in the dumps and just kind of give up. But I've got to be consistent and persistent, and I want to be able to come out on the other side and say like, wow, it was all worth it, because I know that whatever I put my mind to, whatever I decide to do in life, it's achievable because I'm just obsessive like that. So I'm just realizing right now it's just period, it's temporary. Like, I'm going through a lot of changes and I just need to ride it out. With that though, I'm thinking of going into the trades. I keep talking to like people about it. I'm trying to decide whether I want to go into electrician or become an electrician, or maybe do something with like welding or like engineering. I like working on bikes, like motorcycles and like cars and stuff. So maybe like do something with that. Like, growing up, I always was into cars and like motorcycles. I just never was really one of those people who like got into like modifying cars or anything. Like, I just always appreciated them. But now that I'm older, I'm realizing like life's too short, and like I'm no longer addicted to drugs. So like I have more wholesome hobbies and interests that I want to get into. And being that I'm like kind of getting older, I'm 30 now, I'm like, I feel silly sometimes saying like things like, oh, like brand new me, like I want to like, revamp my whole style and my whole like, it just feels weird because like at 30 I feel like you should know who you are, but like I feel like that's the gift of like, I don't know, getting clean, is that you get to discover so much about yourself that like you either A, forgot, or B, you just never really got to explore or express because the addiction was so prevalent. But yeah, so I'm gonna try and be more consistent with uploads and stuff. I'm using this channel kind of as just like a video like vlog like kind of deal, just to keep um all of my family and stuff, like, now that I'm living in Maryland, like, I don't really get to talk to them or see them as much, so it's a way for, like, friends and family to stay up to date, with my life and stuff, and also, I don't know, I just like talking and rambling, and I feel like the parasocial nature of YouTube, like, I need friends, like, I'm gonna be honest, like, life is very trying and hard and tough right now, and, like, I'm just always looking for, like, some form of connection, and, like, I go on YouTube all the time and watch videos, and, like, I'll be in the comments, like, commenting on things, and, like, I just realized, like, hey, if I do it, other people are gonna do it, and I'm just trying to be my real, authentic self, and trying to just learn how to love myself for all of my quirks and all of my imperfections, but also being able to see, like, my value. And I don't know, uh I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just rambling at this point, but yeah, I'm at work right now on my break. I really have to remember that, like, it's temporary, and I don't have to get down on myself, because I can easily say, like, oh, I was making $200 an hour literally a year ago drawing on people, and now my paycheck is like $200, $300 a week. Like, that kind of sucks, but I'm still tattooing on the side. I still make money doing it here and there. I'm always going to be a tattooer. I'm always going to be an artist, so no matter what, like, I know, like, people always say, oh, don't get tattooed by somebody if they tattoo out of their house, or if they do house calls. You know what? Tattooing came from people who did it in the jungles. Tattooing came from people doing it in the Bowery, like, lower Manhattan, doing it in, like, a shop where, like, literally you line up at the door, you get stenciled by one person, you get lined by one person, you get shaded by one person, you get colored by one person. You'd be lucky if they use a new needle or a new tube on you, okay? Like, I am as sanitary as I can be in any environment that I'm tattooing in. Even if it's a shop, I show up and I clean the entire shop every day, because no matter what, dust, particles, like, stuff gets on your station. Like, you just have to do it. So if you're tattooing, you just have to sanitize your shit. Like, especially if you're traveling or working in a dusty area. Or, I don't know if anybody has ever been to a convention. Conventions are just set up in convention centers. Like, they're just tattooers who decided, hey, I want to tattoo somewhere, and they set up in a fucking hotel convention center. If you are a trained tattooer and you know how to, like, deal with cross-contamination, and how to, clean hand, dirty hand, how to use, like, it's just common sense. Like, you just know how to tattoo. Like, if you know how to be sanitary and clean while you're tattooing, you can do it anywhere, as long as you're using discretion. Like, obviously I'm not going to tattoo in, like, a trap house, and like where the walls are dripping, like, moisture, and, like, it's, like, fucking dusty and dingy and dark, and the floors are carpet, and, like, there's, like, certain things that you really can't get away with. But for the most part, I haven't had any any issues with people I've tattooed in their homes or at my own place. Like, I treat it the same way I would a shop. So yeah, I don't know. I think tattooers get this, like, this ego about them that they're, like, somehow special or gifted or, like, unique, and it's just, like, honestly, I'm a rebel. Like, I've always been into, like, punk. Like, I tattooed DIY on my finger, like, because I believe in doing it yourself. Like, if you want to do something and you have the passion and the drive, the only thing stopping you is yourself. Because at the end of the day, even if something is quote unquote bad or illegal or, like, not quote unquote accepted, people can still do it. The only thing stopping them is their own, like, self-will. Not saying that that's a good thing, but, like, you shouldn't just go around doing whatever the hell you want. But at the end of the day, we're in control of our actions, and whether for good, bad, indifferent, I choose to not support the corrupt system, not support, like, I don't know if you guys have been around lately, but rent, like prices on plastic, like PTFE, like the basic materials to cover the cost of tattoos has pretty much tripled, almost quadrupled in some places. And in order to keep up with the rising costs, we've had to increase our prices for people. And in doing so, I feel bad telling somebody that this little tiny 6-inch tattoo like is gonna be like $2,000 because it's $250 an hour. Like, it's crazy that, like, I don't know, when I started tattooing, I would charge people maybe $75 an hour, like 50 an hour, 100 an hour. And that was for like the same quality, not maybe the same quality, obviously I've gotten better, but like the same amount of like um I guess cleanliness and like closeness to detail, like same amount of time and effort went into it. Like the only thing that's really changed is the price of the equipment and rent and stuff, and all of that has just driven the cost up. But like, I don't know, I still feel like for me personally, I'd rather make art that's good and meaningful and like quality, and the cost, I'll cover some of the cost. Like, I'm truly just about like creating a memorable experience for somebody. I'm truly about creating like the best art that I can, because myself, I don't want that walking around saying like, oh, like Lucia did that, like that's my name attached to it. So like, I personally want it to come out good, and if it doesn't come out good, I will fix it. Like, I want there to be a level of um like a relationship between the artist and the canvas, that like they feel comfortable being like, hey, I don't like this, can we try and fix this? Because at the end of the day, it's your body and you have the right to say like, hey, I don't like this, can we work on it? Because I'm not going to be offended. Like, I'm human, I'm not perfect, like things can happen. Like, we as tattooers need to humble ourselves a little and realize like we're not the end all be all. Like, we make mistakes, and like being able to address those mistakes will make you a better tattooer. It will make you a better artist overall, because you will be able to acknowledge where you went wrong, and you can adjust and make the adjustments you need to do it better next time. But yeah, I don't know, this video is kind of long and just rambly, but I just felt like I needed to give you guys a little update. And yeah, I'm gonna try and be more concise in the future, make videos that are actually themed or like geared towards like a specific topic or something. But for the most part, like, I'm probably gonna make a video like this every now and then where I just ramble into the camera. And yeah, um so yeah, if you guys liked this video, if you guys like keeping up to date with what I'm doing, feel free to follow me on Instagram. You can follow me on here, mostly on here and Instagram. I'm gonna be posting updates on artwork. I'm gonna be working on motorcycles. Hopefully I will be entering a enduro race sometime this year or next year. So stay up to date on that. I want to really get more into riding like motorcycles and dirt bikes and stuff, just because it's like, it's so much fun, and like it's something that like I've always been into but like never got into because of just my mom. She like is deathly afraid of me being on a motorcycle, which fair, fair. But yeah, so I'm gonna kind of be revamping everything, kind of like redirecting my energy more towards like that, and like figuring out like just myself more and what I'm doing, and bringing you guys along for the ride. So yeah, if you want to see more, like, comment, subscribe down below so you can stay up to date and help me get some reach out there. But yeah. Alright guys, I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for watching. Bye!